Hello, my name is Mark Galvan. I have a privilege of being able to give you a lot of additional information now that you're moving along the process as a candidate for a position at Argus IT Services. I'm a recruiting manager, and I really truly love what I do because of the growth of the company, the people that are represented, the types of opportunities. So you're going to hear a lot about that right now. This is information you need to have for next steps in the process. And we want to be able to get you a lot of information to complement what you already are seeing on the web and with the position description, the profile, and information about the company. So again, this is specifically for people that are being considered only for a technical position with Argus IT Services in Grand Prairie, Texas. If you stumbled on this audio somehow and you're not a candidate, this isn't for you. This is only being given to people that are already moving along in the process. So real quick, there are a couple different technical positions that this is focused on because we have multiple open roles right now. First of all, there's a mobile device repair tech. It's primarily Apple devices. That's more of an entry-level person. If they've got prior experience, that's great. If not, they're trainable. But we also have computer tech roles that are in the space of IT and help desk and infrastructure. So we have level 1 and level 2 positions available. Level 1, there are people that have prior experience. Maybe it's limited. It could be hardware, could be software, it could be Windows, iOS, Apple, anything that is supporting a customer in whatever aspect of IT support they need. Level 2 is moving toward a team lead position where they've got prior experience and they are now providing like a point of escalation for more advanced issues. Okay, so the reason why you're getting all this information right now in this audio video is because this is very time sensitive. Normally we would have a recruiter reach out to you and schedule a conversation. You know, that might take a couple days to get on the schedule, and then we're going to provide you information and you're going to give us information. You're going to answer a bunch of questions. You're going to be on the spot, and that's the typical recruiting process, right? Well, what we've decided is that it's better for us to get you something that you can listen to on your own time. Whenever you get this message, you can listen to this multiple times, you can take notes, and then when you're ready, you can provide us some additional information that we need to move forward. So it's just better for you, and it also helps us move through the process very quickly because, again, this is very time sensitive. We would like to be able to make offers for people within days. So again, this just helps move things quickly. Now, this is, again, only for people who have been pre-qualified. We've already looked at your resume. We've already had communication with you. We've had some conversation. It could have been by phone, by email. You saw something online that we posted. And because there's multiple opportunities, we're moving aggressively. So congratulations. Where you're already at in the process is that because you've been pre-screened, there's been some initial conversation with you or some form of communication, you're now being invited to take next steps. And that includes providing us some information, us giving you some information, and then setting up for a potential interview. So one of the things I promise to you is I'm going to give you some great information that'll help you set you up for either making a quick decision like, hey, this is not for me, or yeah, this sounds really good, I want to move forward, and kind of some inside information that'll help you in the process. And hopefully you take away some other career coaching points from this that will give you some insight into other opportunities if this is not the right one for you. So based on your profile, your resume, your pre-qualification answers to questions you already answered, you got an email, and that email gave you a download link for a position profile, and that included a bunch of information, a couple different roles, as I've just described, and then the next step from here is a questionnaire. So after you've listened to all this, we would invite you to look at the link to complete the questionnaire, and then that sets us up with all of the information we need to complement your resume for setting up an interview. Okay, so My promise to you right now is I'm going to give you some information that's not in the downloadable position profile. Because, I mean, you can look at that, and you can get some basic information about the company, duties and responsibilities, and that kind of thing. But this is more toward you to help you make a decision. So what we found is that a lot of folks that are either they're just looking for a job, or maybe they're looking for more money. That's great. If you've got the skills, experience, the real passion, you're a techie. I mean, you're a geek. You love what you do. I mean, you're in good company. We are all cut out of the same cloth. And if you're that kind of person, this is a good job. It's stable, long-term commitment. There's a opportunity with a company that's continuing to grow. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But one of the things that is even more valuable is if you're really looking for an opportunity to grow in your career, to increase your experience, to grow with a firm that has other opportunities. So that's where we're going to spend the majority of the time here, so you understand the scope of the opportunity. Now, the other thing is, what we're really looking for are people that have a heart for this stuff. Like I said, I mean, you're a techie through and through, but you also have a real interest in solving problems. I mean, if you are the kind of person that digs into an issue and you identify something that is a symptom, but you can looking for. So what we have is several different categories of work, and I'll describe that to you in a minute. But the reason why this is so important is because our clients rely on us to solve their problems. So we get really passionate about figuring out how to help them. So if you're looking for that type of work, then you're our kind of person. Now, virtually everybody at the company today has some type of a growth story. They came in at some lower level and they got promoted. I mean, we've got team members that came in at $12 an hour years ago, and they're making $22 an hour now. The key driver for all this is a few different factors. Number one, there's consistent growth. The business is in growth mode. The owners of the company, the founders of the firm are focused on continuing to drive growth. They have a mission for doing that. So there's constantly new clients coming in. And some of that also means expanded scope of work. When a client comes in and they have a standard set of problems, but then they also need help in other areas, then that just creates an expanded footprint for us to serve them. Another factor, and I'll talk about this more in a second, is the business model. There are several lines of service. I'll just call them that, because there's a MSP, a managed service provider model, that Argus IT Services offers to its clients, where we just take all of the IT work off of the customer. We're their outsourced IT partner. And so basically everything that involves IT falls on us to resolve, whether it's applications, imaging, infrastructure, hardware, server admin, whatever. It's all on our plate. So there's opportunities everywhere in that type of a model. Another factor is there's consulting and projects that come along all the time. We have very large clients. They're hospitals, they're major organizations, tier 1, tier 2 project opportunities. And as a prime contractor for large projects, we get pulled into all kinds of things. And that creates additional opportunities as well. Another is the infrastructure component of the business. So we have hardware, servicing, remote support, end of life, refresh. So refresh means a company's got 10,000 laptops and they want to give everybody a new laptop. Well, that's a whole project, and they outsource those kinds of things to us. So whether it's remote help desk, on-site troubleshooting, installation, server relocation, a whole host of opportunities there too. So it's because of all these lines of service that there is constantly new opportunities. So that's probably the big story here in this discussion, because a lot of times when you get hired for a job, you're coming in to do one thing, you're told to stay in your box, stay in your lane, do that one thing well. And the bigger the company, the smaller the shot at moving into other roles. But because we're talking about a regional company that's growing, it is, lots of opportunity. Now, let me again, just really quickly introduce myself so you understand where all this information is coming from. I've been providing recruiting support as a recruiting manager for Argus for quite some time. And my goal is ultimately to be able to find a win-win relationship, so that this is ideal for you. The business wins. The people that are at home, that are your primary supporters and stakeholders, they're happy you got this job, and our clients win too. So that's a tall order, but we're really committed to finding the right people. So if this is getting you excited, then you're definitely probably our kind of person. Now, we call this an accelerated virtual recruiting model because we're able to get through the process very efficiently. Now, there's some advantages to you as well. If we had a recruiter on the phone talking to you, not everyone's going to get the same conversation. This way, we treat everybody the same because we've got like 4 people that need to be hired immediately. They're all going to get the same information. You're not going to get the short version of something because a recruiter was short on time. Another thing is, you're not on the spot. When we ask you specific questions, we're going to give you a chance to type those responses or just dictate them into your phone and fill out a questionnaire, and that gets us on second base. In a normal recruiting situation, you're on the spot. You don't answer a question correctly, you're done. You're just dismissed from the process. We're not doing that. We're looking for the right people, and we don't want anything to knock you out of the process if you're the right person. And there's no artificial intelligence or automation here. This is all real people doing this stuff behind the scenes here. Okay, so I want to call your attention to a couple things. One is about the company. You'll notice the core values, service, passion, integrity, commitment, and excellence are listed on the information that you can download, the position profile. That is a big deal. I mean, these are things that the executive leadership team, the leaders, the managers, we all buy into this stuff. This is the core fabric of who we are as a business. And we take those things very, very seriously. So there's a combination of a commitment to our customers, our company, our community, and ourselves. So it's by design. I can't say this is a faith-based business, but I can tell you that the folks that run the company are faith-based people. And so they have a real strong commitment to ethics, integrity, doing the right thing, treating people right. And that goes for employees, customers, vendors, everybody. So, you can believe whatever you want, but I'm just letting you know that the folks that are in leadership roles, they want to do the right thing. Integrity is a big deal. Excellence is a commitment at the core, and it shows up in every aspect of the business. Now, a minute ago, I mentioned a little bit about the business model. There's all these different aspects to these different service lines. So we have our corporate operations as a business, but then we also have infrastructure, which is all the hardware work. We have warehouse operations with a big warehouse in Grand Prairie. We have client sites where we're also involved in infrastructure delivery and support. And then we also have client sites where we do projects. So we send project teams out to locations. They could be server banks, or they could be distributed endpoint support where we're installing hardware, laptops, computers, other devices. And then we have an outsourcing model as well. So that's all of the work that's outsourced through the managed service provider model. So because of all these things, there's just constant growth and constant opportunity and constant development as well. Folks that come in are trained on new things all the time. And one of the things that I tell people all the time is that when you go to work for one company, it's great. I mean, you may have a long-term job, but you're basically doing the same kind of things repeatedly. When you go to work for a company that does like outsourcing or consulting, you're serving customers, and you get like like 10 years of experience in 3 years because you get thrown into all kinds of different things. And that just makes you way more valuable over time. So if you're looking at increasing your income and your opportunities over time, this is the kind of scenario where you just get ridiculously valuable in a short amount of time because of all the projects and the assignments. Now, one thing that I think candidates ought to know before they join any company is what makes the company unique. Sometimes we call those differentiators because you want to know that you're representing a company that stands out in the market, does something different, and is differentiated from everybody else. One of the things that's unique about Argus is since 1997, they've been fully operational and continuing to grow. Just tenure in the market for a regional IT company is a great indicator, right? So the track record of business success, the track record of customer success, I mean, the proof is in the results. You can look at example case studies on the website, argusx.com, and you can see examples of client retention, global clients, large-scale projects, all kinds of things that we've done in the past. The internal culture of the company is also another differentiator. You're talking about a strong servant leadership model. It kind of goes back to what I was saying before. The leadership team believes that servant leadership is critical. That means leaders serve team members to help them be successful, empower them, enable them, train them, give them everything they need in terms of tools to be successful. There's a faith-based decision-making process that just kind of guides, the decisions so that people are treated ethically and properly. Another thing is the core values, like I said. Another key thing is this commitment to clients, internal company, culture, community, and you as a person to help you with your growth and development. These are all foundational principles within the company. So you can read more about some of those things on the downloadable information and on the website. Okay. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the job, but again, I just reiterate that there's multiple positions. There's a mobile repair device opportunity, and then there's also level 1 and level 2 computer techs. And it kind of doesn't matter whether you're coming in from the software side or the hardware side or the remote help desk side. If you've got any of these skills, we probably have an immediate need for you like now. So I would just challenge you to get yourself into the process, get into the mix. Let us figure out where we can position you in the business that's best for you and best for us, and get your foot in the door and get going. Take a look at the individual roles. So what we'll do is on the questionnaire, we'll give you a chance to tell us which positions you want to be considered for. For example, you may be a help desk person that has provided hardware support or remote software support or something like that for some amount of time. You got some years of experience. Maybe you're not a team lead yet. Maybe you're not a level 1 because you're kind of more advanced than that. Maybe you're not a level 2 because you haven't been promoted yet. Maybe you're like a 1.5. Okay, well, heck, we can get you in the door, get you trained, and get you set up to be able to provide higher level tech support and move into a more senior role and get you on track for that. So again, you just let us know what you want to be considered for, and we will help put you in the right spot. Now, last thing I want to cover real quick is just the overall rewards. There's definitely a whole host of benefits, health insurance, dental insurance, all that stuff. But there's also some real intangible things as well. Aside from just the traditional benefits package, you have a long-term opportunity. You're in a growing company, and you are also working with major companies. Okay, so the clients, I'm not telling you the client names, but you'll recognize them. They're hospitals, they're airports, they're big corporations, they're global brands. When you have those logos on your resume, it makes you more valuable in the future. So not only do you get trained and skilled up and get broad level of experience, in this environment, you also get logos or company names on your resumes represented as clients that you service that make you even more valuable in the future. That, I think, is probably the most ridiculously valuable aspect to working at Argus, because it's a combination of factors that make you more valuable over time. So That's my quick insider view of what's going on and what it might be in it for you. If you're looking again for a long-term opportunity, take a look at the details that are downloadable. The next steps from here is there's a link to a questionnaire, and that's where we're asking you very specific information. This is to complement what's on your resume. It's information about your prior experience, your technical expertise, a little bit more about you, and anything else you want to tell us to consider you more highly for one of these opportunities. Just there's a place to put that information. You can just dictate it right into your phone. You don't have to worry about being short or brief. Even if you have long answers, we read every word. It's actually almost more important than your resume, because this is information that we're specifically looking for relative to our requirements and our needs. So take your time, fill that out. If you want to be considered in next steps, we're interested in you. And then from that point, we figure out the appropriate next steps for a phone or in-person interview or Zoom call or something like that. So, okay, that was a lot of information. Thank you for hanging with me. Looking forward to seeing you in the process. And my last promise to you is just don't get discouraged. If you're looking for a new role, a new opportunity, even if this is not the right one for you, we will follow up with you and send you some resources at the end of the process that will help you in your career journey. Information on resume writing and how to interview well and other stuff for career transition. We'll just send that to you as a way to thank you for participating in the process and being a candidate. And we'll also keep you on a list for future consideration when there's other things that come up that might be more suited to where you're at professionally. Again, my name's Mark. Thank you so much, and we're looking forward to seeing more information coming in from you and considering you in the process.